Hello, I will be giving an overview of TestComet, which is an AI test automation platform. So TestComet can automate all the core activities in manual testing, from generating test cases from requirements to executing those through an AI agent, to having reporting for the executed test cases and creating bugs directly inside Jira. And then at the end, we also have generating test automation scripts for the executed test cases. So the main components of TestComet are AI test case generator, where we can give requirements and get test cases generated. Then for the management of generated test cases, we have test repository for web and mobile. Then we have a module for execution history, where we can see the detailed reporting of the executed test cases, as well as we can directly raise bugs inside Jira. And at the end, we have script generator, where we can generate automation scripts for the executed test cases. So we will be covering all these modules in this demo. So starting with the AI test case generator, this is the module where we can upload any requirement or user story, and the tool will generate test cases covering all scenarios. So I will be uploading a requirement. So here I have uploaded a user story for a complete order workflow for an e-commerce site, where the user can add products to the cart and then place an order. Then we can also provide additional information for the target platform, such as the URL and the credentials. So I will be adding those. So this information will be used by the AI agent to execute the test cases live on the given URL. So now I'll be generating the test cases. So test cases have been generated. So from just giving a user story, the tool has created test cases covering the positive, negative, and edge scenarios. So each test case has a title, has a description, and has all the steps which are covering the core workflow we described in the user story. So that includes navigating, entering, and logging to the website, and then adding different products to the cart, and then completing the order workflow, and then placing the order. And at the end, we have expected result for the AI agent to check if the behavior was as expected or not. Similarly, we have other test cases for negative validation, edge cases, boundary conditions. We can then select any test case we want, and we can save that into the suite. So that will then go into the test repository. So I'll be saving the first test case in the repository. So the next major module is the test repository, which is used for the management of the generated or added test cases. So this was the test case we just generated. These on the left are all the different suites or the folders we can add. Each folder would have its own test cases, and we can view all the details such as the steps, expected result, the execution history, the JSON file for this. Okay, so now moving on to the test execution. So we can execute any test case we want through an AI agent directly from the repository. So all we have to do is to select the test cases we want to execute. So I will be selecting all four of these. Then we can also select the browser we want our agent to run the test cases on. So I'll be selecting Chrome for this, and then I will start the execution. So an AI agent will start executing these test cases on the given URL live, and we can see all the logs over here. The agent has successfully executed all four test cases, and while it was executing those, it was also generating video evidence for each test case of executing all the test steps. The module of execution history contains all the past executions we ran. So just now we ran a batch execution of four test cases, from which three passed and one failed. So we can view the detailed report for any individual test case. So each test case has its own video recording. So this was the recording of all the steps the AI agent took while executing the test case on the given URL. So these were all the steps the AI agent performed. Along with the video, we also have the actual result and the reason uh, why the AI agent marked this test case as passed. We can also view the logs for the test case as well as the logs for the batch execution. We can also view the detailed reports for the test case which just failed and also the reason of why the agent marked it as failed. Then we also have a feature of reporting by downloading an HTML report. So for the batch execution, we can download an HTML report, which can be shared with the stakeholders. So this report would have all the information of the execution. So all the steps, the expected and the actual output, and uh, the the information for the test cases and the suites they were linked with. Then we also have a feature of raising bugs or issues directly inside Jira from TestComet. So TestComet can be configured with your Jira account, and then for any test case which got failed or had any error, we have an option to directly report a bug inside Jira. So we can create a Jira issue for the test case which just failed, and then we can open that uh, directly inside Jira. So this issue ticket was created automatically from TestComet, and it has all the necessary information such as the expected actual results and why it failed. So, so now moving on to mobile execution. So it has a similar workflow to web executions. We give user stories in AI test case generator, and we can generate test cases which will be stored in mobile repository, and from here we can then execute uh, on the mobile device. So but before executing, we first have to configure the mobile device setup. So for mobile device executions, we have a wide variety of cloud devices which can be reserved. So we have Google Pixel, Oppo, Samsung devices under Android, and then we also have devices for iOS. So after reserving a device, like here Google Pixel has been reserved, we then can also install the APK we want the agent to execute the test on. So I have installed an APK already here, and then we can go to the mobile repo, and then we can execute any test we want on the given APK. So I will start an execution similar to web executions. The agent will then start executing the test case on the APK. Similar to the web execution, we can see that live over here. So the execution has been completed by the agent. The test was marked as failed due to a issue in the app. Similar to web executions, we can see the detailed execution report in the execution history module. We have the recording and the actual result as well as the logs here. So now moving on to the module of script generator. In this module, we can utilize TestComet to generate automation scripts for the test cases we just executed. So we can get automation scripts for Playwright, Selenium, and Cypress. So I will be generating a Playwright script for the test case we just ran. So this was the test case we ran. So I will be generating the script for this. So the script has been generated. We can view and download the Playwright script. So this is the generated Playwright script. And then it also includes all the selectors used inside the script. So these were all the core components of TestComet.